Welcome to The Peel. I'm your host, Samantha Battle, and we are so excited for our guest today. She's gone through an amazing health journey that we can't wait to hear about.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. Hi, everybody. So my name is Monica, and I am just so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
So my health story begins several years ago, actually. I was diagnosed with a medical condition called lymphedema back when, like right after I got out of high school, and I started having these health issues like my senior year. And it was really kind of came out of nowhere because I had been relatively healthy my whole life. I mean, I was not like super athletic or anything, yet no major hospitalizations or surgeries or like anything really alarming. And I just started having these random swelling issues in my left leg that I was told is a result of like my lymph system not functioning properly, and I was gonna have it forever.
Wow.
Yeah. So at the time, I mean, I was super young. I'm still super young, but it was not something that you want to go through. And I think at first it just kind of went over my head. And then shortly after, the more that I had to live with it and manage it, I was like, I can't just have this for the rest of my life and it even get worse, because they said that, you know, it's going to get worse over time. So I started diving into holistic healing and natural healing, and I pretty much did like a whole 180 from all the things I was doing before, and I started learning about how disease happens in the body, what happens to the body when it's not given everything that it's supposed to, and you know, just really coming back to nature. Yeah. Because our bodies are so capable of healing themselves, and that's what I discovered. So one thing that I found when I was doing all this like research on holistic healing was this amazing machine. This is a medical device, and it produces medical grade water. And I was really honestly skeptical of it, and I was like, okay, well, this is a medical device and I have a medical condition, and it's water, like we're mostly water, and it just wouldn't make sense for me to keep drinking out of like a Brita like I was.
Exactly.
When I had made all of these other lifestyle changes that were doing like great things for me, yet I still felt like there was something missing. And once I had put together that, you know, these machines have been used in Japan for so long, which I'll talk about more about where it comes from too, then I just decided to go for it. And it really did change so much. It's like kind of crazy because you're like, well, it's just water, you know, like what can water really do?
Yeah.
But water is life. Like people say that all the time, and it's so true. So now I'm happy to say that I don't have any of the same issues that I used to have health-wise. And yeah, it's been such a journey that now I just want to share this with other people, because like if I would have had this years ago, I maybe wouldn't have gotten sick, or like certain family members would have still, you know, had their health. So that's why I share now, because there's people who need this, you know.
Wow, that's so amazing that you're able to heal yourself and take your health into your own hands when no one else was helping you. But I would love to hear more about the origins of this machine.
Yeah. So like I said, these machines are from Japan, from Okinawa actually, and they've been used in Japanese hospitals for decades, and they're actually endorsed by the Japanese Association of Preventative Medicine for Adult Diseases. So when you start to learn about like different health in different countries, Japan is really focused on prevention and being proactive with your health, which is obviously like what we should all be doing.
Yeah, that's so wise.
Yeah, I know. And because, you know, we're not quite up to speed here in the US and in other Western countries, it's new. Like not a lot of people know about this. There's less than 2% of the world have even heard about this.
Dang.
So here in the top 2%, anybody watching this podcast is in the top 2%. And the results that people are having with this water, of course, I can't make any specific medical claims or say that this cures any specific treatment or diagnosis or anything like that. Yet what we're seeing this water do is like it's crazy. Some of the most common benefits that people experience are like a detox of their system. Some people experience weight loss. Some people experience, it's just different based on your body, because everyone's body is different. For me, it was way less inflammation. A lot of people experience digestive improvements, or if you have gut health problems, which is one of the more common things that people experience. Having a lot better skin and energy. Those are like the most common things I would say. And more every day, the more people start drinking this water and trying it to see what it does for their health, we get more and more testimonials.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there is, for any issue out there, we have found someone who has tried this and it has helped them in some way, shape, or form with their health.
That's amazing. Wow. So is there different types of water, or does it have one type?
Yes. So the machine produces 7 different kinds of waters. I'll start with the drinking waters, because that's what we're the most familiar with.
Yes.
So there's actually 3 different detox levels, and it changes based on the pH. So there is 8.5, which is the lowest detox, 9, which is the second level, and then 9.5, which is the highest detox level. And I know right now, like, alkaline water is a huge trend. And a lot of people say that, my doctor said alkaline water isn't good for me, and that alkaline water can mess up your gut, and that is actually true. There's a lot of different like specifics that come with water, and especially alkaline water. So, like the most common alkaline like bottled water brands like Essentia, right? So the way that they make these waters alkaline, if you just flip the bottle over, it has a list of ingredients. And one of those ingredients is sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. Yeah. So essentially, to make alkaline water, you can just add baking soda to water to raise the pH. Yet that's not actually what water should be when it's alkaline naturally.
Yeah.
Because if you go to different places on the planet, there is naturally alkaline water that is full of life. And that life is the more important thing as opposed to the pH. I don't want to get too much into the science, but it's really about the voltage. So when you make water alkaline through chemicals, that's a lot different than water that's alkaline through electricity. We have electricity running through us at all times. Our cells operate on electricity and voltage. The earth has its own electricity and its own magnetic field. That's why when you walk on the grass, it feels so good, because you're getting that life and that voltage inside your body.
Yes.
And so that's the difference between regular alkaline water and this, because it is made alkaline through voltage.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the most important distinction, because I always want to bring that up whenever I say it's alkaline, because then, you do want to make sure you don't mess up your gut. You do want to make sure that you're actually consuming something that is going to help you rather than harm you.
Wow. So this machine is able to replicate natural spring water.
Yes, exactly. And it sucks because even natural springs nowadays, we test them and they don't have the voltage that they used to.
Wow.
So I always tell people, like, having a machine like this is like having a spring in your home, rather than, having to travel to Italy to get their springs, or France or Mexico or Pakistan, or all these places that have these, like, they call them miracle waters. You can just have it in your home.
That's amazing. So we went over the drinking water, and then now the other types of water.
Yes, so those are the 3 drinking waters for detox. There's also a clean, like a neutral, the 7.0. That's great for anyone who takes medication or anyone who's using baby formula.
Okay.
Because you don't want the higher alkalinity to mess up any medications that are on, like, a time release or for baby formula. So those are the drinking waters. Then there is the 6.0, which is the beauty water, which is like your skin and your hair love it. It's gonna sound kind of weird, but every time I use the beauty water on my skin, I feel like my skin is like drinking it.
Wow.
Like, it's weird to say that, but if you felt it, you know what I mean.
You just feel hydrated, like.
Yeah, yes, on your skin, because our skin is just a little bit acidic. That's our body's first line of defense. So it's gonna try to make sure that there's no anything getting in our body that we don't want. And it's also really good for plants. Anyone that has any sort of like farm or plants inside even love it. And then there's 2 more waters that I just get so fascinated by. So one of them is the 11.5 water. This is water that's great for cleaning, degreasing, emulsifying oils, and I personally love it for cleaning my produce.
Yeah.
Because you can get a lot of your harsh chemicals that they spray on crops, like pesticides, herbicides, any other dirt. Because what farmers do, you know, naturally water and oil, they don't mix. We learned that in 5th grade science class. And because farmers know this, the pesticides that they spray on crops are oil-based, so that when it rains, the water doesn't wash it off. Then the problem is we buy it and we run it under our tap water, which already has lots of contaminants, and it's not going to come off because it's oil-based. So if you don't have something that can penetrate through that oil, and honestly, I've seen even people who use like baking soda or apple cider vinegar to get it off, it still doesn't all get off.
Yeah.
So that's one really good use for the 11.5. You can pretty much use it to clean anything.
Wow.
Anything in your home, your car, makeup remover, laundry detergent. There's like a whole long list.
Dang.
Yeah, of things that you can use the 11.5 water for.
It sounds like this machine can save you so much money.
It really does. It really saves you so much money, and it's you know, it is a bigger investment. So at first, it might be a little bit difficult to wrap your mind around, you know, the long term of how much you can save. Yet with the financing options that are available and with what you're going to get when you have it, it's also eligible as a tax deduction.
Nice.
Then you really start to see like, okay, this is a decision that I'm making for many, many years, not just, you know, a month or 1 year at a time.
Does the machine only serve one person, or how many people can it work for?
Oh, I mean, we have families who will all put in their money together, invest, and get one machine. I mean, this is medical equipment. Like it makes an infinite amount of water.
Wow.
So it can really serve many different people. I mean, families of even 10 could have a machine like this.
Wow.
And believe it or not, in other countries, the top countries right now are India, Philippines, and Vietnam, who are buying this machine because they have a more like community mentality. They all pitch in together and they get one machine for the whole community.
Yeah.
So I love that you even bring that up, because that's something that a lot of us here can start to really think about, of like, you know, how can we pool our resources and start to invest in things that are going to give us money back and give us health back, rather than continuing to what I like to call rent your water rather than owning your water.
Seems definitely worth it.
Yeah, it is. And there's one more use too. There's the 2.5 water. And this one is crazy too. I mean, I love the machine for everything it does. I think the 2.5 is the most impressive because within 30 seconds to 1 minute, it will kill bacteria, viruses, pathogens, germs. I mean, things like MRSA, E. coli, salmonella. It's stronger than bleach.
Dang.
But it's just water.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, like, I mean, you have kids. You don't want them getting into toxic cleaners or bleaches or, you know, anything that even if they get on their skin, you have to call poison control all of a sudden. If you have 2.5 water and it gets on their skin, I mean, it's just water. It's going to disinfect them.
Yeah.
And they'll be fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So those are the 7 different uses. And, you know, we think of water as just like drinking or showering or bathing. Yet when we zoom out, water has all these different abilities that we didn't even know about.
You mentioned people are getting amazing results with this water. So what is this water doing that other water isn't?
That's a really good question. So there's a few different properties of the water, and I talked about the alkalinity. One of the really important things is the voltage. Like I said, it has the electricity and the life, and it's also structured in a way that it can actually get into our cells, along with having tons of antioxidants from molecular hydrogen.
Wow.
And I know, like, for someone who's not very sciencey, that might be confusing. So I'm going to show you guys It's just going to be a quick little tea demonstration that shows how this is hydrating you versus how other waters aren't. So this is unopened tea bag. I actually really like this brand, the Yogi brand. And I'm just going to show you guys what happens when you drink the right kind of water. So this is water from your filter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I've done this test on so many different waters, and unfortunately it always ends the same way because it's just, you can't get this in other forms from tap or even a filter, although filtration is great. Filtration is the first step for water. And if you don't have this, you definitely should have some sort of filter. So just putting that out there. So the tea bag is going to represent our cells, and you know, normally when you make tea, what do you have to do to the water?
Boil it.
Yeah, normally you have to heat it up, and that's because the water is not structured in a way that it can actually get into our cells. So got the water in here, and this is not going to really show any color because it's not structured.
Yeah.
It's not heated up, and it's not going to be able to produce tea. Now let's say that I want to make some tea with my water that is electrolyzed reduced water. That's the scientific name if anyone wants to look it up online. There's tons of studies, and I actually do this like all the time. I make tea without heating the water, and it's crazy. Even still, like I've had this machine for 3.5 years, and I still get shocked that I don't have to heat it up because it's structured in a way. Think about it like this. Think about if you're standing in front of a chain link fence, you know, the one that's like a metal wire.
Yes.
And I hand you a bucket of softballs, and I'm like, hey, throw this through the fence. You're gonna literally look at me like I'm crazy because you're like, Monica, softballs are not gonna fit through the fence, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine I give you a bucket of marbles and I say, throw these through the fence. And then you're gonna be like, okay, now she makes sense because marbles aren't gonna fit through the fence.
Yes.
That's like the difference between drinking regular water as a softball, it's too big to get into your cells, versus this water that is structured in a much smaller way, and it can actually get into your cells.
Wow.
So when and this is obviously room temperature, like this is not hot. I'll literally pour it on my finger.
Yeah.
It's gonna make tea immediately.
Wow.
So any vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you are consuming, this is going to enhance the absorption of versus just simply watering it down with any other kind of water.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, let's say that I do have some minerals and vitamins and nutrients already existing in my body, and I want to drink some water, right? Because it depends on what kind of water you're drinking. Regular water, it's just going to water down what you're drinking, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, or eating. Just going to water it down. But with the right kind of water, it's going to enhance it, and it's going to be able to pull it all out. You see that?
Wow.
So that's why so many people are having so many incredible results just from simply switching the water they drink, because it can actually absorb into your cells, and it has so many antioxidants in it that are really difficult to get from other sources. Rather than water, how it's supposed to be, it's meant to have antioxidants in it. We're just so far from nature now that it doesn't.
Why is that important?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because most people don't think water and antioxidants in one thing.
Yeah.
So the antioxidants come from molecular hydrogen. And have you heard of the term free radicals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so free radicals are like really big online or like in the health and wellness space, yet not a lot of people actually know what a free radical is. So what you can think of with free radicals is it's like a robber that takes your energy inside your body.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, normally healthy cells have that voltage, the electrons. That's where it comes from. I know in middle school, we learned about electrons, protons, and neutrons. The electrons is where the voltage comes in. So a free radical in the body is going to be be stealing those electrons from a healthy cell because it doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why that's bad for your health is because it contributes to a process called oxidation, which is basically aging.
Yeah.
We all know when you cut an apple and you leave it out, it starts to turn brown. That's the process of oxidation. And you can't necessarily stop aging, but you can slow it down, and you can for sure speed it up, as we've been seeing with all of the different toxins and pollutants in our environment. It's really important to make sure that we do have antioxidants that are helping our bodies recover and maintain the health that we have.
Wow.
So antioxidants have an abundance of electrons. So when you have a healthy cell versus a free radical that needs electrons, and then you have an antioxidant that has extra for everybody, it's going to give electrons to the free radical, and the free radical doesn't have to steal them anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's why it's really beneficial, because a lot of us that have different toxins or a buildup of disease or acidity in the body, that's what helps aid the process of flushing all of the waste out, because you're giving all of these electrons and energy into the body.
Okay. Seems very essential.
Yeah, definitely is.
Well, thank you so much for all of this knowledge. I can't wait to share it with people. Like, we all need this.
Yes, I totally agree. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Where can we find you if we have more questions or even want to purchase this water machine?
Yeah. So find me on Instagram at _Monica Ren, REN, and let me know that the Peel sent you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.